Hello, my name is Sierra Space, and I am going to be talking to you about the 6 elements that compromise the general environment of Starbucks. I chose to analyze Starbucks because it's a very common business in our world today. I am not huge on Starbucks myself, but being a college girl, I'm constantly surrounded by friends and classmates that are always consuming Starbucks beverages, so it's an easy business for me to conceptualize these elements within. So the first of the factors that I'd like to talk about in regards to the PESTLE analysis of Starbucks are technological factors. So when I thought of technological factors that Starbucks would need to be able to provide exceptional products to their consumers, I thought of having the right coffee makers, the right amount of stoves, blenders, cash registers, all the technology they need to make the processes within their business run smoothly so they can provide a good product in the end. Additionally, I thought of Grubhub or DoorDash, which are very common online ordering platforms for food and beverages now. If Starbucks wants to be able to keep up with these new advances in technology and have their beverages delivered to their consumers, they need the proper software that they could track these online orders. So Starbucks would also have to consider sociocultural factors, which are another component of the PESTLE analysis. They need to consider these factors so that they can decide what populations they want to market themselves to and who they want to receive business from. Because the culture and the society that Starbucks is within is going to greatly impact how the business needs to function and market themselves. For instance, within the United States, a lot of people are very excited to drink or consume holiday flavored beverages. And we can see that Starbucks really has thought of this factor because they provide and make a lot of different holiday drinks, such as the iced sugar cookie latte or pumpkin spice lattes in the winter and the fall time. Additionally, if Starbucks wants to market themselves to people that are part of the Go Green movement or are very conscious about what they consume and how it's wasted, then Starbucks could consume a cup like the one here pictured that's made of biodegradable materials. This could appeal to that population. So these are just a few sociocultural factors that Starbucks could consider when they're trying to market themselves to people. All right, political factors. So from a political viewpoint, Starbucks has to consider the state or the country that they're within and what the politics and the regulations are with from the government in regards to their business. One thing that I thought of specifically was that Starbucks relies heavily on importing their coffee beans. So I was looking and doing some reading, and I found that Starbucks imports coffee from nearly 30 different countries, including El Salvador, Peru, China, and Congo. So if they're importing all their coffee, then Starbucks is going to have to consider and be conscious of international trade policies because that's going to impact their ability to receive supplies and the products that they're going to need to function and provide the end product to their customers. Trade laws or trade policies within the country or internationally is also a legal consideration, which we'll talk about later, is another component of PESTLE. Environmental factors. So most countries, including the United States, have regulations on how a business needs to be ran, the sanitation laws, and different regulations to keep the public from health hazards. That is really what came to my mind when I was thinking of Starbucks and how different environmental factors could apply to them. Specifically, I was thinking of the Occupational Health and Safety Administration requiring employees to wash their hands and employers to have different numbers of hand washing sinks within a facility so that they can try and protect the public from sanitation issues. There's a tremendous amount of environmental factors that Starbucks has to consider, and that's just one that I thought of. I was also thinking how environmental factors can also play a part in legal factors. So, like I mentioned, there is a hand washing policy that businesses are required to follow. If businesses don't follow this, they could get in legal trouble, which leads me into my next point, which is legal factors. So I previously mentioned how Legal factors could impact trade, how they could impact sanitation and environmental laws. Another legal factor that I thought of is the Age Discrimination Act that the United States passed. And that's another law that the employer is going to have to follow when they're hiring employees so that they don't get in trouble, because these legal factors can shut down a business, get them cited, get them warnings, get them fined. Many different issues can arise if businesses don't follow this. So this is something extremely important for Starbucks to consider. Finally, economic factors is the last component of PESTLE. So when Starbucks is deciding how many locations they need to open, if they need to close locations, new processes they should implement, they have to consider the competition they face, the supply and demand for the products that they're offering, and they need to decide if these choices are going to positively or negatively impact the economics of Starbucks. Additionally, I was thinking that if the legislature implemented tax laws on the products that Starbucks is buying or selling, that's another thing that they have to consider about how that would impact the economics of their business. So that is a quick rundown of the 6 elements that compromise the general environment of Starbucks. Thank you.